Alright, what is up, beautiful people? It's Wolfbrother Methos from the channel Frost and Fist, and welcome to this video. Let me adjust that microphone, sorry for your ears for 1 second. Alright guys, so hello everyone, it is great to see all of you. I see we have a live and poppin' chat tonight, and it is really awesome to have everyone here. Did I remember to unmute myself? Yes, I did actually. How about that? Alright, let's take a look. Alright, check in the chat. We got so many awesome people. We got the Y-Bird here. Good to see you, Y-Bird, my man. We've got Boffnet. We've got Brother Spud. It is a chilling Wargamers takeover. England invasion. That is awesome. It's good to see so many of my amazing brothers from the other side of the pond here with us tonight. Guys, it is a great time to remind you guys, as always, that Frost and Fist is part of both the IDICBeer Wargamers Unification group and the Chilling Network, as you can see down in the corner below. And of course, if you look down in the description, you'll be able to find links not only to the Unification group, but to each one of our brothers on the Chilling Network. So, of course, Chilling Network is founded by the Chilling Wargamers, who is live in the chat with us tonight. So, thank you guys so much for being part of what we do. Brother Spud can't sleep tonight, so where else would they be on a Friday night? Glad to have you here, my friend. Retaking the colonies. We're a little more expanded than just the colonies now. Just a little bit. Just a little bit with our rebellious selves. What time's the stream start? 2:30-ish? Hey, and actually I'm relatively on the 2:30 ball tonight. I thought it started at 2:30. I blame Elston. See, the ish is always there because we are the most professional, most prompt and punctual channel out there. It's always 2:30-ish. So, no potato juice for me. Oh, well, I mean, this is a bit late, I guess, you know, for the potato juice. Alright, guys, so you're probably wondering why you guys are looking at some white scars on the camera instead of Freak's handsome mug here. Unfortunately, Freak is stuck working tonight, and so you guys are stuck with the Wolf Brother. And you know what I'm going to do is I've been trying to crank out these white scars so I can have some of the first, maybe not the first, but some of the first white scars out, bikes out on YouTube. That's my goal, and so I'm really pushing it. And I have had a few setbacks this week. I've had to go back and, you know, it's not painting whites that's the tough part for me. It's painting everything else onto white and trying not to mess with my white paint job. So I've had a few setbacks where I've had to take an alcohol dipped cotton swab, do some erasing, re-base paint, and start over. Oh my goodness, the amount of going back and fixing stuff this week has been real. I'm liking the way that it's coming out so far, but man, those setbacks can be really frustrating, as I'm sure you guys can figure. Is it just me, or does it sound like someone eating? Oh, you know, I did forget to mute my mic during standby. I haven't been eating anything. You guys may have just heard me tidying up the desk here while I was getting started. You guys paint white like me, Vallejo white surface primer, and then Dallin Rowney's acrylic artist ink white. I was working with the white Dallin Rowney ink for a while, and I use it to thin some of my white paints to still keep some of that that white. Poor baby. Here, let me move some. Daddy, move this table so that way you have room to get back here. It's storming here pretty badly, so my shepherd, she's trying to get under the desk or around the desk with her daddy. She doesn't like the thunderstorms. She's trying to fit under the hobby desk while I'm doing my hobbying. But yeah, I used to use the white ink. It doesn't do everything I want it to, but when I want to thin my white paint without losing the coverage of the white paint, then I mix in some white ink. I have my own formula, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit, that I use for my painting white. Let's see. Morning from Australia. Good morning to not only my brothers here in America, my brothers across the pond in the UK, my brother Dave in Spain, but also good evening to, or I guess good morning, to our Australian friends. I got Kaiju here, got Nate. So, and of course, I don't know if Weather Pig's around tonight, but we've got quite a few Australian friends, and our number of Australian friends keep on. The Pale Orc, another Australian friend. Kaiju, speaking of which, hey everyone, Cheetos are like My Chemical Romance for potatoes. What? You're going to have to explain that one. Cheetos are like My Chemical Romance for potatoes. That's interesting. El Frosto Wifisto. The Spanish-speaking member of our channel is not here tonight. Like I said, he's stuck working tonight, unfortunately. The Phalanx has entered high orbit. Good to see you, Commodore. Spud can't take the heat. Man, I can't take heat either. I live here in Texas, and I still can't take heat. Oh, hey, Pale Orc is here. Good evening, my man. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wybird. Freak unfortunately could not make it. Stuck working tonight. It does sound like static, but it could be a fan. After painting my apothecary, mostly white, I now know you are officially a madman for painting a white Scar army. I know. It's tough. It's tough. I sometimes regret the choices I've made. It's okay, baby. A good idea. The ink as a medium for white paint. Exactly. White and yellow are the problem paints. Yeah, a lot of people say that. Although I've actually gotten really comfortable with my recipe for white. It's doing everything else to a white paint job that really gets me frustrated, because every little misstroke, and you guys know, every little misstroke shows, and then you can't just go back with a base color and neaten it up, because to get this white, I've got multiple layers, and it messes with my smooth buttery blends. I had a mishap earlier this week, I think Sunday night, where I just wanted to quit, it was like Tuesday or something, because I was doing these red shoulder pads to be like the artwork. I could have made life easy on myself and just left the shoulder pads white, like most of White Scars. However, the artwork had these guys with red shoulder pads as if they were, like veterans. And, well, I got towards the back of one of these shoulders here, and where it's all nice and shaded, I had a huge misstroke with the red into the shaded area. And so then I tried to go back in with, my gray sear and cleaned it up. And then, of course, anything over red, trying to clean it up is not easy. And so I tried to clean it up, and then I tried to go back in and add in my shade color again. And it was just like that spot just kept resisting the shade color. And all around it kept shading darker, while the streak where I had to clean up with thin layers of gray sear just stayed lighter than everything else. And I was just so frustrated. So I ended up having to take an alcohol-soaked cotton swab and just basically erase my work. It was crazy. So yeah, it's doing things around the white paint job that's really stressful to me. Spud loves painting yellow and orcs. That's because he is a true Imperial Fist painter and orc painter, and he's got the formula for yellow down. And Imperial orcs, I guess. That poor shoulder pad. Yeah, Archer was in the chat where I had posted it ready to quit the other day. I was just like, oh my god. Because it was even in the picture, very clearly did not want to go. I'm going to see if I can find the picture for you guys real quick. But just every layer of shade I kept adding only accentuated my mistake. It was very frustrating. I'm going to see if I can find that for y'all. Just so that way you guys can see the frustration of trying to paint white onto a surface you've already done so many buttery blends on. I think my chat's not going to let me go back that far without holding up the chat. Oh my goodness. I think I might almost be there. Oh my goodness. Almost there, guys. I think. I really want to show this to you guys so you can see what not to do. That's me, the anti-tutorial, what not to do. Man, it is warm here in Texas tonight. And of course I could put on the fan, but then you guys probably wouldn't be able to hear me. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not going to make you guys sit here while I search for it, but trust me, it was pretty bad. I was pretty frustrated. I was very frustrated. Like I said, I just wanted to stop. I didn't want to paint the white scars no more. What kind of alcohol? I used rubbing alcohol to wipe it down. I'm just happy it ain't I have no idea what Spud was going for there. It's a nightmare, man. I'm doing Blood Bowl elves and leaving yellow until last because I can make sure that I have a pure white base to work with, no chance of staining with the other paints. Exactly. That if I could do the white last on these with the airbrush, I would fight shoulder to shoulder with my white scar brethrens, as we would fight with you, my brother, as we would fight with you. Wybird started some mess. Says I would fight with Blood Angel, Spud. Oh, fighting words for Brother Spud. All right, so while I've got these, you guys have probably seen my scars going around the Instagrams and stuff lately, but I've been working on it, and you guys see how it is here with the silver exhaust pipes. I want to ask your opinion on something. Of course, there is going to be a splash of color here wherever I put on the decal, right? But I feel like it needs a little, you could use another pop of color. And I'm thinking about, you guys know I love my heat bloom effects. Thinking about doing some overdone, very unrealistic, almost comic booky style heat bloom effects along the pipes here. And to kind of get an idea of that without actually painting it up, I've took something I did do a heat bloom effect and kind of laid it across, so that way I could kind of get an idea, and I'm going to get your guys' opinion on that right now, brother. All right, so open in a new tab. So I think Freak said this was the key to being able to zoom in. There we go. Alright, and now I'll switch over on OBS. Alright. So I took this assault cannon that I did my heat bloom effect with here, and I kind of put it up to the exhaust pipe there. Now, I thought that might add a little bit of a pop of color. You guys let me know what you think. Is it worth... Now, of course, again, that is more airbrushing close to my crisp white paint job that I struggled so hard on. Do you guys think it's worth the heartache of trying to put that on the exhaust pipe? I think it would add some detail and some depth. But you guys let me know if you think that would look good with that. Is it worth it? Let me know down in the comments, guys. All right. What got you into white scars? Okay, honestly, I like the concept of a bike army, but the main thing that drew me to white scars and is just because as an Asian American, the fact that they are very heavily Asian inspired has always had me I've always had my eye on them. In fact, they were one of the ones I probably would have picked a long time ago, except I didn't want I was too intimidated to paint white. But I mean, as the Space Asians, and being being a man of Asian descent myself, I always wanted to represent. I've got a lot of pride on the Asian side of my family. So I was drawn to them, and the fact that they use a lot of, the swords that they use, being very Asian inspired. And I've seen them with artwork where they have like Chinese style broadswords. I've seen them with artwork where they have katana, which of course is more Japanese than Chinese, but I've seen them with a variety, and that's why I always refer to them as space Asians, because I see them, and it depends on the artist working on them, right, drawing them or whatever. But you can see different kinds of Asian inspirations in them. But overall, I think they look amazing. Yes, exactly, Gamecraft Dragons, because they're space Asians. Good evening, by the way, my brother. Did you see the Forge World? Yes, that new Forge World model. A lot of people don't like that model, but I absolutely love it. The shoulder pads and the leg armor have the very, very samurai inspired look that I think is awesome. I have seen a few people say that the ornamentation on top is a little too busy, and that I could probably agree with. But just for the shoulder pads themselves and that samurai look to them, I think is amazing. I don't think I would go with the Oni mask myself. I would probably put a regular White Scar face in, but I think it looks amazing. I definitely want one, just to use as a Terminator captain or something. Now, being that this is a speed army, I don't really have a use for a Terminator captain in my army, but I'm the kind of guy to run it because it looks cool, and I want it in my army. So that's the kind of thing. Just like I want to do a Librarian on bike out of one of those Lord Arcanum on Griff Chargers. You can't really, it's a Legends model. You're not really supposed to take a Librarian on bike anymore, but again, I think it would look amazing, so I want to put it in my army. So I will definitely take a little form over function a lot of the time. Gamecraft Dragon says, oh hell yes, love it. You could use blue tack to mask over the white. That's a good idea. I was actually just thinking about taking a little foam sheet like this and sliding it up. It actually worked earlier today until I was trying to show you guys. Anyways, or maybe even just a piece of paper. I was thinking about sliding underneath there and masking it off that way, but the blue tack actually might be a better idea. But if I could just, or maybe a combination, some paper and blue tack, so that way I would effectively block off most of the model and then blue tack around the parts that I can't get with the paper. That might be a good combination. So yeah, I think I think after especially looking at the side-by-side comparison just now, I think that doing the heat bloom on the exhaust pipes would definitely add something. Especially, it's not that I think they look plain, but I think an extra pop of color would help. Don't forget to varnish. Yes, thank you. Although I'm surprised you never got into Tau. Oh, so I do love. Okay, so I've always loved the look of Tau. They remind me of growing up with shows like Robotech. When I lived on base in Germany, I lived on a military base. We got one channel. It was the Armed Forces Network. And my introduction to anime was Saturday mornings. Robotech would come on some ridiculously early time, like 7 in the morning. And every Saturday, I would get up at like 6 and get my breakfast to be waiting for like an hour just because I was so excited for Robotech to come on. And that was my hook. That's what got me into anime, and I've loved it ever since. But the Robotech aesthetics, or Macross, if you're not familiar with the name Robotech, the Robotech aesthetics look very much like the Tau, and I would have been interested in them, but I've been so brutally scarred by them playing against them over the last few years. I don't think I could ever play Tau. I'm horribly scarred. Oh, very cool. So Gamecraft Dragon is thinking about grabbing the new White Scar for his the army he's building. The something dragons, not the Void Dragons. That's the Necron god. Something dragons. Remind me, Gamecraft Dragon. Anyways, if you can go check out his live chats, he talks about it in his most recent live chat, and how they're going to be a very, very, very cool custom homebrew successor chapter that's going to have like what's it called when you have you're from multiple gene seeds. Anyways, he's going to do his own homebrew chapter, and I think that model would look really cool in it. Yes, Robotech is the jam. Absolutely. Absolutely. Max Sterling is amazing. Celestial Dragons. There we go. Speaking of Max Sterling, another man who helps me celebrate how amazing Max Sterling is, my brother Roxas is in the chat. GW paints plus blue tack. Bad times. It can be. It can be. I tell you what was even worse. I don't know if everyone's here seen my Sakaran for my Space Wolves before, but it looks great now. But the number one comment I get on it is, "Oh man, if only you had shaded the blue like you did the white." And I did, and that's the heartbreaking thing. But see, the thing is I did the white, or I did the blue first, and then I did the black armor because I was like, black armor will be easier. But I used masking tape, and when I went and did the black paint job, I peeled up the tape from the blue paint job, and I guess I had not gotten enough of the stickiness off before putting the masking tape on, and it ripped up a lot of my Caldor Sky blue paint job. It was awful. You're right, Kaiju. I think that is an Eldarcraft world. Chimeric gene seed is when they're from multiple gene seeds. That's right. Iron Hands and Emperor's Children. Does Forge World have the White Scar Primarch? I think the White Scar Primarch, Jagatai Khan, is the last one that they have to do for 30k. Max Sterling seduced an alien lesbian. Not only did Max Sterling seduce an alien lesbian, but he stopped a war by seducing an alien lesbian. Max Sterling is he is an idol. I think we should all grow up to be like Max Sterling. Max Sterling, by the way, is one of the pilots in Robotech, if anyone hasn't seen the series, which I don't expect everyone to have seen the series because it's like an anime from the early 90s / late 80s, somewhere in there. So I don't expect everyone to have seen it, but it's amazing. Alright, I guess we should actually do some painting now instead of just talking about painting, huh? They need to do characters for White Scars now. It's a little silly that they don't have one yet. Yeah, I mentioned as soon as they showed a chaplain on bike, I said that's amazing, but why did they release Kosaro Khan, who had a custom name bike before 9th edition? He had a custom name bike, and then when they Primarisized him, he was all of a sudden on foot, and then they came out with the chaplain on Primaris bike, and I'm like, but the White Scars character that they took a bike away from is now on foot. It just seems so wrong. Speaking of White Scars, to make sure that I'm doing some of the things I'm supposed to be doing, I broke out one of my White Scar sergeants here, because one of the things I'm going to be doing tonight is the control panel, and I just want to take a look at what I did to the control panel on this 30k bike here, so that way I can try and replicate it on my new bikes. So I'm going to start with the little triangles. They look like turn signals or something, and it looks like I used Vallejo Gold Yellow for that, which is my favorite yellow to work with. They hadn't finished building the bigger bikes yet. I know, I mean, I understand their logic, but it just seems silly that they took this iconic White Scars character with his iconic special bike and put him on foot, and then they immediately after release the character on bikes. Like I said, I understand, it just seems silly. Speaking of silly, and I might bring this up again in the future because this will be a good topic, I think, to bounce ideas off of Freak with. Oh, thank you very much, Brother Spud. Brother Meeks is in the house. Good to see you, Meeks. Brother Meeks, the ultimate wolf lord, Meeks. But one of the topics I had for tonight is that I actually have to eat some crow. Okay, so a couple weeks, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a little longer, maybe a month or so ago, I had talked about how they closed down the White Scars Facebook group I was in, and that the general feeling of a lot of players out there is that they are making Space Marines more generic. And with that was an idea that freaking I thought was a little silly, where they had talked about GW's push looks like they're going to consolidate the Space Marine codexes. And I thought that seemed silly. I said, man, with this codex supplements, you know, Space Marines have more flavor than ever. And I just don't really feel like they would ever consolidate the Angels and the Wolves and the Death Watch and whatnot all into one generic Space Marine codex. But guess what, guys? They absolutely are. So, freaking I said that was silly at the time, but it's happening. It's a thing. And in fact, you know, it's very possible that those who said it originally were in the know, and we just didn't realize it at the time. So, how do you guys feel about that? All the Space Marines becoming one. When to become one. So that was a shocker to me. Now, it's not going to be completely, you know, vanilla. It's not all going to be in one book. They said they intend on doing it like they've done the successor, or not the successor, but the individual chapter codex supplements. So we will be putting our wolves and our angels and whatnot into, goodness, how am I going to get at this? You're going to put these wolves and angels into the Space Marine Codex, but then they'll be getting their own codex supplement, just like the Iron Hands and Imperial Fists and stuff like that. So, which doesn't seem like a massive setback. I mean, as long as they're still getting a codex supplement, they're still getting kind of their own book. It is definitely a surprise, I feel like, because I mean, just taking, and I'm sure the others have some great examples too. Obviously, as a wolf-focused person, I can see it a little more clearly from the wolf point of view. It seems like wolves have a lot of unique units. And if you look at the codex supplements so far, I mean, most of them get like, you know, 1 or 2 entries of someone in their codex supplement, you know, like the White Scars. I get Corsaro and I get a Kano bike. And that's it, 2 entries. A codex supplement for Space Wolf is going to have the Wolfen in them. It's going to have the Cavalry, of course. It's going to have the Rune Priest. It's going to have the Iron Priest. You know, there's going to be a lot more things different about Space Wolves than there are going to be White Scars. So it just seems interesting that they would decide to make this all one book. Also, one of the things I think that is still unclear is, and I'm interested to see what they do with, is are they still going to have some of the chapter restrictions? For instance, Wolves and Blood Angels can't currently take Centurions, but imagine if a Space Wolf could take some combat assault Centurions, put them on the hunt, deep strike down, you know, turn 2 close to the enemy, and go in with those Assault Centurions and then be hitting on 2s with, Hunters Unleashed. I think that would be crazy. Did you like my scratch-built Stampa and all finished and painted? Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I got your pictures of your alien-inspired Tyranid for tonight. However, I didn't grab your Stampa because I figured that'd be something you'd want to showcase on your channel. So I figured I'd give you time to be able to put something out, and then, of course, next week I'd love to show off your Stampa if that's cool. How will it work as long as the cost isn't too much? So far, if we're looking at the 8th edition version, which I imagine will be similar for the 9th edition, the Codex was $60, and the Codex supplements was another $40. So overall, $100 in books for your faction. I love it. One book, everyone gets basic rules, and each chapter gets a supplement, less FAQs. It's possible. I hope they accidentally delete everything to do with the Blood Angels. Oh, okay. I get it now. I get it. Blood Angels and Imperial Fist together is not good. That's true. That's true. Don't they do that for new editions? It's My Day. They released a generic Marine Codex so everyone could do something. Then so the way they did with 8th edition is they released a, what do they call, an index with everybody's stats in them at first and points costs, kind of like they did with chapter approved here, and then went back and then everybody else got their individual codex. But like Space Marines got their codex first, and the Wolves got theirs. I think they were one of the last, not the last, but one of the last factions. So it was a big wait around for Wolves to get some of the new stuff that Space Marines got. And then again, when Space Marines 2.0 came out, they did a little bit with an FAQ, but things like doctrines and stuff like that, we had to wait until Psychic Awakening. So I think that's going to be good for the consolidation, because some of the rollouts across the entire brand, like the addition of doctrines and stuff like that, that'll be covered right away instead of having to wait until the Wolves get their own thing. Things that'll go across the brand will be good for Space Marines in general. Also, one of the things I think, I mentioned how Centurions in the Space Wolf army would be awesome. Another thing to think about would be, is think about what if your Space Wolves could take one of those Space Marine flyers that can transport a Dreadnought. You know, you drop off a Bjorn or a Shield and Axe, Venerable Dreadnought right there on your opponent's back line with a flyer. How cool would that be? And before anyone says, well, you know, that might be a little too much. I mean, Blood Angels already get to do that with the Furioso Dreadnought, you know. So I don't think it would be asking anything more than, say, Angels already have. I know it seems kind of silly, you know, taking the time to do every single button on the control panel of my bikes, but that's just something I do. But once I finish these red buttons, we'll stop and take a look at a little bit art of the week. You know, guys, I just realized I forgot to change my monitor, so I don't even know if I'm painting on screen for you. Thank you, babe. See, once I started running my mouth, I completely forgot about painting on camera. Your Wolfbrother cannot walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. That reminds me, I don't think I took my focus attention today. Oops. Focus attention is a medicine I take for my ADD, guys, so. Mini War Mutt says, Methos, you missed a spot. At the Roadhouse, dropping by to bug ya. Nice. Well, thank you for joining us from the Roadhouse. Space Wolves were one of the last to get their 8th edition codex. Yep. Also, B, the door for them to do name successor chapters. They have loads of stuff like Black Crusaders, Karkadons, Blood Ravens, and etc. That's true. That's true. You guys might know better than me, and I'd like to hear. But I know they did a purge of a whole bunch. I don't know if it was all of them, but I know they did a purge of a whole bunch of Forge World specific named characters. 8th edition. They put the axe on them, throwing them to Legends. Do you guys know if the ones that were specific to some of those Forge World chapters also got the axe? You know, like the Red Wake from the Karkadons. You know, that's an awesome model with those big ass shark claws. Shark claws? That doesn't sound right, but he's got, you know, like the giant lightning claws. And every time I see that model, I just want to go shark attack, space sharks. Yeah, but what was his name? Tyberos, the Red Wake, I think? I wonder if he got the axe. Ragnar and Assault Intercessors out of a drop pod. That would be cool. That would be cool. I think my plan for my Ragnar is I want to put him with possibly some Blade Guard and my aggressors and deep strike them. And I'm sorry, put them on the hunt and have them pop out turn 2 up the board that way, and just use the on the hunt function with them instead of a drop pod. But I mean, a Primaris drop pod would be cool. Deep strike those Furiosos. Whew. Yeah, deep striking Furiosos are definitely tough. It's lightning claws with chainswords attached. Yep. Kaiju picked up Tyberos last week. How about that? I knew you were painting some AdMech. I didn't realize that you had some Space Marine interest too. That's awesome. All previous versions of the Colon Crab for the Red Scorpions. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Of the Carib Colon for the Red Scorpions did. Only the legal one is the Leviathan Dread version. The Red Wake is on Forge World as we speak. Oh yeah, I'm not talking about for sale. I'm just saying I know in the 9th edition rules they gave an axe to a bunch of the Forge World characters' names. The Miniatures Paintbrush, Brother Rob says, "What's up, my brother?" Brother Rob, I think, did his first 40k battle report and his first and last 8th edition battle report this week on his channel. If you guys want to go check him out over at the Miniatures Paintbrush, I gotta say, his Space Wolf army and his opponent's Eldar army are two fantastic looking armies. So if you want to see well painted armies in a battle report, you can definitely go check that out there. Gorgeous, gorgeous models, gorgeous terrain. Kaiju says, "I just grab random stuff I enjoy." See, that is what I'm talking about, my brother. Also got 2 Iron Striders, Tyberos, and some White Lords from AOS to mess around with. That's awesome. I have to say, I love my Iron Striders. And, you know, it's funny, I ran Iron Striders for the longest time, but I magnetized them to be both Iron Striders and Dragoons, and as I added more of a melee component to my army, I started running them more as Dragoons. But now with 9th edition heavily, I think AdMech got some of the bigger nerfs in 9th edition, I think. And since they heavily nerfed Dragoons, then I think I'm going to go back to running them as Iron Striders. I mean, when is it a bad time to have extra las cannon platforms on the cheap, right? Thank you for the shout out. My pleasure, brother. Look at all this sexiness. Speaking of sexiness, it's time to go on and look at some art of the week. If you guys will give me just a second. I will get you guys some art of the week. But first, I'm going to want to do a shout out. And while I do this, we'll have you guys look at this white scar while I work on this. Alright, we're going to go on to something I want to show you guys real quick. Shout out to another brother. A couple of my favorite Twitch channels. And I wanted to bring up Goldfish of Justice's Twitch channel because you guys know your Wolf Brother's been asking for a while how to paint female soft skin tones like Kingdom of Death style, right? And actually, I just clicked on their YouTube channel. What am I doing? I just saw the Goldfish of Justice's name, and I was like, ah, click that. Pro, guys, really pro. But like I was saying, you guys know your Wolf Brother has been asking for a while for tutorials on how to paint nice soft skin tones, right? Let's check this out. I mentioned the other day in his at the end of one of his coming back online. Alright, we are back up. Can anyone hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Alright, stream health back to excellent condition. Oh goodness. Yep. Okay. Good, good. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you guys heard that right before, but there was a loud crack of thunder, and then the power flickered out for a second, and then it immediately came back on, but that was enough to kick off my router and everything. Yay! Yay, YouTube analytics. Yay, sudden streaks of lightning. Alright, so what I was saying before getting booted off, and I don't... I may need to come back to this because I'm sure after the power blip it's not going to be as effective of a shout out. But I just mentioned in the chat the other day at the end of this stream, he said, what would people like to see a stream of or a tutorial of? And I brought up my usual, I would love to learn how to paint Kingdom Death style skin tones. And suddenly, instantly, and immediately, my brother Goldfish had chats painting female faces. Painting female faces take 2. And I got to learn more than just faces. You guys know that your Wolf Brother loves some cheesecake, right? Loves some pin-up, and of course he did the lesson on a pin-up model, so that way we can learn how to do skin tones and highlights, you know, all over the model instead of just the faces. So he was very, very professional and thorough on instructing where shades went, where highlights went. It looks incredible. It looks incredible. So big shout out. I have been asking for this kind of tutorial for a while, and this person, you know, Goldfish has just absolutely nailed it, and I can't wait to see the rest of this tutorial. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then, of course, because I'm here on Twitch, I never, ever, ever pass up a chance to go visit one of my best buds. There's no W in there. Wolf Wraith. One of my favorite Twitch streamers ever, Wolf Wraith. So while I'm here on Twitch, I'm also going to point you in their direction too. Wolf Wraith, and man, painting up the Catachan Colonel. Guys, the Catachan Colonel, also known as, of course, you know, the Colonel from Halo. Definitely a cool model, and watching him paint that up was an absolute pleasure. So check out both Goldfish of Justice, check out Wolf Wraith when you guys need to get some hobby content from the Twitch. Alright, now we'll go back to Art of the Week. And I seem to have, in my panic trying to fix the channel, messed up my Art of the Week clip. So we're going to go back to me for a second. You guys can look at my my super shiny keyboard because of my painting lights. And I'm going to fix this for just a second. And we'll get the Art of the Week going. I've got some really cool pieces here for Art of the Week, so I'm glad I didn't lose all of you guys. Alright, I'm going to catch up on the chat and then we'll go to some Art of the Week. And actually, if I'm going to read the chat, I probably shouldn't go back to YouTubeception again. Got some static feedback. Oh, has the power outage messed up my mic? I don't know how to fix this. Is it still staticking? Is it still? I don't. Oh my god! It was acting fine before. It was acting fine before the power outage. I don't know how to fix this. I am so sorry, guys. Alright, so all you people that still use tacticals, especially Grey Hunters, 5-man squads or 10-man squads? Okay. Yeah, I just hate being an annoying buzzing in people's ear. So, Grey Hunter squads. I recommend, if you're going to do them, especially if you're going to put them in transport like a Rhino or a drop pod, I recommend a 10-man because you can fit, well, either a 10-man or 2 5-mans, because you can actually, I think, get more plasma in if you make it 2 5-mans. So if you want to like just annihilate somebody with some plasma, I recommend 2 5-mans in a transport's usually really good. If you want to put them on the hunt, though, get behind enemy lines and put some covering fire down. You know, it might be better to take them in a squad of 10. And it was happening before. Okay, I really need to sort this out. My mic has been hard to deal with lately. Alright. Yeah, but so that's the way I would run some tactical squads. Or Grey Hunter squads. Alright, taking a look at some Art of the Week now. This is the Pale Orc. Alright. Pale... Nope. Closed out the wrong one. New tab. Here we go. So, checking out the Pale Orc. And immediately, when I saw this... By the way, Pale Orc. Follow him on YouTube and, of course, Instagram. Immediately when I saw this, I thought of the Xenomorph from Aliens, and of course, when he hit me up and I asked him about it, he said that was his inspiration, was the Xenomorph from Aliens. So, I mean, that immediately conveys, you know, it's got the shiny, you know, purpley black, so purple it's almost black kind of carapace. You know, that touch of green is a great touch, but that shiny reflective carapace, I think, really conveys the alien xenomorph perfectly. Alright, looks like I'll have to do this one at a time. Shot of the back. Again, very cool. I love the highlights here. In that kind of, you know, transition where it goes from the black carapace into this green kind of detail along the bottoms of the carapace. And of course the horn the same way. It looks very, very cool. And, you know, he mentioned that it was hard to see in the pictures, but actually zoomed in like this, you can kind of see, you know, there's an almost stippled effect where the purple is over the black, and actually helps bring out that color and that, you know, almost modeled insect kind of detail a lot better. Very cool. From slightly different angle, and you can actually see the gradients on the wings a little bit better in this one. Check that out. I love how it's darker towards the edges of the wings, and then in the middle of each section, you know, the green is more, I wouldn't say vibrant, but that green is much more present, you know, and that shading toward the corners is very nice. And I love that it brings out every texture in the wing itself. So extremely well done, dude. Close up of the face. Definitely got to get a close up of this face. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? Oh my goodness. Guys, this is why I usually have Freak run the show. It would help if I click the right buttons. That's all on me, guys. See, this is what happens when I get frazzled from one thing going wrong, then I start not pressing the right buttons or doing the right things for other things. Alright guys, quality content here, quality content. So anyways, right here, look at that face. A beautiful face. Only a Ripley could love. It reminds me of that meme going around right now of the alien getting close to Ripley's face with the extra mouth coming out of its mouth. And then in the next scene, it's got a face mask on, like a coronavirus style face mask. And Ripley's, you know, smiling and happy about it. That really does convey the alien xenomorph, though, really well. From the back there, it's a picture I intended to zoom in on earlier. I love that with this back shot you can see again all the details on the carapace here. And that stippled texture. Very nice. Really great work, my brother. Again, right here in the corner, the pale work. Follow him on Instagram and the YouTubes. I know, guys. Quality content. Urge to have that fight the baby carrier. Oh man, that you're absolutely right, Roxas. It would be epic to see this going up against either the Grey Knight baby carrier or the Invictor tactical warsuit. That would be really cool. And of course, somebody would have to give the line, "Get away from her, you bitch." Somebody would have to do the line. Alright. Extremely cool work, my brother. This next piece I want to show you guys. Oh, man, how did I miss this one? Here's a little size comparison for you guys. A little epic struggle here. I thought I got all of them. So a few weeks ago, we showed on the channel his big mech with the souped-up shock attack gun. And yeah, a little epic struggle scene here. Shock attack gun going versus, you know, the great big xenomorph. Now, With orc shooting, it's no telling which way this is going to go. But somebody's going to have a bad day. Somebody. Alright guys, this next piece... Would you stop resetting Al every time? Alright. This next piece I'm really excited for. So, I have this weird thing, guys. I'm an arachnophobe. But as an arachnophobe, I love seeing really extremely well done spiders. Like, I like them in Skyrim or Dragon Age. I mean, don't get me wrong, it freaked me out and I want to get past that boss fight as soon as possible. But I love seeing them. I'm excited when I get to watch movies about crazy giant spiders too, or eight-legged freaks, or... I don't know why. I love... Or even Lord of the Rings is a great example. I love the trope of a giant spider, you know, terrorizing people. Because I guess because it freaks me out so much. Mike, good evening, my brother. And Meandering Shade here just absolutely crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. By the way, there's another place this appears online. This was featured during Chilling Wargamers show on this past Thursday. Check them out. One of the best live shows on the internet. And this was a submission that they put in for the show. But because I thought this spider was so well done, I said, you know, I sent Meandering Shade a message, said, hey, do you mind if I reshow this as well, because it is such a brilliant piece. This will keep an arachnophobe up at night. Like, you can see, I mean, it looks like it has the perfect texture to be that, you know, kind of hairy, like almost like a tarantula shooting like hairs into your eyes to blind you. It's so cool. Again, Meandering Shade, check them out on the Instagrams. You can also check them out in the Chilling Wargamer Discord. Look at that. All the details. The weapons stuck in its carapace. The rust on the chains going down into the carapace. Oh my god. So much good detail. Kaiju Short says, same with the tarantulas. Exactly. Something about them terrifying me makes me want to see more of them. It's weird. Look at the detail here. Check this out. Look at the chain wrapped around its leg, stomping through the radioactive goop. Maybe that's how it got so big in the first place. I love the pose on this too. I mean, the model might come that way, but still, I mean, it's just that skittering kind of motion. Ugh. The thing is the stuff of nightmares. Spiders are the devil. You right. So well done, though. By the way, that's not. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping now, so I'll probably get a lot of stuff painted tonight. I love this detail here. Like it's got a nest with human skulls where it's been eating victims. It's an awesome detail. Such an awesome detail. I'd love to paint a Gobbo boss on a spider so well I creeped myself out. Nice. And you know, I was mentioning that to Meandering Shade that it creeps the hell out of me, and he said that they feel the same way, and now this model is sat on their shelf staring at him. So that's something that we don't think of when we paint something this brilliant. I say we. I've never painted anything this brilliantly. That's amazing. Look at that rusty sheet metal that it's standing on, and how it punctured with the end of one of its sharp little legs. Again, that detail. Oh man, and the rust effect is so good on this. That's just absolutely incredible. That's such a great detail. And you know what? That puncture there into the base probably helps add a little extra stability there. but it's such a great visual detail on top of that. The only well done spider is one that's crushed under a boot. I don't know. I think this one manages to be amazing, even though it is absolutely terrifying. Again, I don't know why, but this carapace seems so real to me. If I had this thing sitting on my shelf and I walked by it on a dark night to go get some water in the middle of the night, things would get broken around my house, I'm pretty sure. This is one of my favorite details. This whole picture right here, I think this is the best in the bunch. Even though you can't see its eyes, but you can see its maw. You can see the leg raised. You can see the skittering kind of motion here. But this, you can see the little fleshy, bulbous undersides of the carapace here. What's under the carapace? Oh man, it's so good. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in more. Why do I want to zoom in more to this? I'm gonna have even more trouble sleeping. But look at the great detail on the toxic sludge. Again, great detail, piercing the metal with its leg. But look at this back here. Look at the fleshy bits. So cool. So cool. Also, does this little bit of like spider silk, does that come on the model? Was that added on? I didn't ask about that. So cool. This is, I think, the best picture in the whole lot. Look at the highlight there on that fang. That highlight there on that fang is amazing. Very crisp. This is definitely one of those pieces that the more you stare at it, the more there is to find. Like, this is my second time seeing it. Like I said, I saw it on Chilling Wargamers show. Actually, no, third, because I saw it again when I went and got the pictures for tonight's showcase. Third time seeing it, and I'm still finding new amazing stuff in this piece. Go back. For a minute there, my computer didn't want to zoom in on this detail. Again, look at that. Look at how detailed that is. That's so incredible. Yep, this extra detail here was added on. I think one of the gents in the Discord asked him what the extra bubble texture was, and would you believe it? The little carbon filters, the little carbon bead filters from a water filter. Isn't that crazy? Such great texture and detail. Mike says, if this was in my house, I'd be homeless. Kill it with fire. It's the only way. This piece was submitted to me by the Commodore. And this is so cool. I don't know what this is from. But Duff Mandinga has this incredible piece. Furnace face and bill. Check this out. Look at that non-metallic work there on the knife. Look at the highlights on the gun, the cloth. Look at the glow from the eyes and plasma or whatever that is there. Look at the texture on the leather. This is such a cool piece. The green fire from the green flame here, that looks awesome. The rusty effect on the sword. The bandages. Everything is good in this piece. You know what? I don't know if I'm following them, but after tonight I definitely will be. That's an incredible piece. Oh, now this one, and these are all out of order, guys. For some reason, the Facebook Messenger shuffles them around. This one I may actually have to show again briefly next week, because Freak is a huge fan of the House Hawk Shroud for the Imperial Knights. This is Tarot Model Maker. And check that out. Also, Man, I am always wary of the idea of taking a $40 to $60 model and just using it as basing material. But that's definitely what's going on here. Oh, Mike says those were Cawdor conversions in that last one. Pretty cool. Look at the weathering here. Excellent, excellent work. And then, of course, some heat bloom effect here on this giant triple-barreled flamer that this thing has. And, you know, for a beast that was turned into basing material, I mean, definitely did not slouch on painting up this Chaos Demon engine here. Very cool. Now, this shot from the front is really good. Excellent, excellent. I love the use of the decals. Adds a lot of character to this Hawkshroud model. Makes it very clearly Hawkshroud. But then even the decals are all weathered up. You know, like the paint job itself had been through a beating. This is a Night Valiant. So much good weathering here. So much. Also, I always love people that model the option of having the hook out and sunk into something. Very cool. I don't know why, but seeing the spear out and engaged in something, that's always one of my favorite things. You can see some of the weathering from the back. I always like seeing the weathering in the back of a Knight, because that's where all like the heavy machinery part is. You know, up front you got the pretty painted panel pieces, but back here is where all the weathering happens, you know, where all the running of the machine is. Once I get my Marines painted up, I'll send you some pics. Excellent, excellent. Another great shot from the front. This pose, too, is a nice, beefy, you know, come get some kind of pose. I really enjoy that. Oh, man, here comes the thunder back again, guys. I hope we don't get cut off again. Alright, this is another one sent by the Commodore. Got some Dark Elf goodness here. Oryx Customs. Now, this was an interesting paint job. When I was first looking at this on my phone, I thought those splashes of red was some kind of design in the ship. And of course, as I looked at it more closely, I realized that it seems to be some kind of blood splatter. Let's get in, zoom in real close. Look at the detail on these guys. These guys are some extremely crisp and well painted Dark Eldar. Look at that freehand there on the nose. But yeah, I didn't realize until, you know, I zoomed in close that, you know, this looks like blood splatter or something like that. It's crazy. And look, you're going to see as we go through this, look at how crisp the white paint job is here. I say all the time that I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my white my recipe for white paint jobs, but man, I got nothing on it. Oh my god, look at the detail in that helmet. That's so good. Look at this face, that hair. Such crazy level of detail. I would never have expected to see Dark Eldar have this kind of like bright, eye-catching color. You know, usually I see them with very dark paint jobs. But I mean, these really brightly colored Dark Eldar look amazing. Look at that energy glow on the front of the weapon. Again, this is just another one. You can just keep staring and finding cool stuff in this model. Such a cool piece. Doing some Minotaurs. I've enjoyed painting some Minotaurs in my time. I had I did a whole Dark Imperium commission plus a little more as Minotaurs. A really enjoyable project. Love the gradient on those on the flags and the sails here. Looks amazing. Actually, that would probably, I mean, however they did it, that would probably be a good mix for some Alpha Legion as well. Alright guys, so some sexy Dark Eldar. And those who don't know, I recently was gifted a Dark Eldar army too, so I might have to look into something like that myself one day. This one is one of those that is just unbelievable. This is one of those that looking at the helmet and the belt, I almost can't tell if this is an actual model or someone's 2D painting of a model. I mean, looking at the pose and everything, it is almost positively a model, but it looks like it could be a canvas hanging up on someone's wall by the miniatures vault. Look at the crags of that scar in the face. The character that's in that face, the shading. All the non-metallic work. I mean, this is incredible. That purple color scheme looks amazing as well. That is some true artistry. And this is the last one I've got for you guys. Wargame exclusive, reposted one from Johnny KS Wong on Instagram. And it is a Noise Marine. Holy crap. It is such an incredible job. Look how bright and vibrant that Noise Marine is. It almost has like a cell shaded like Borderlands kind of style to the paint job. Absolutely incredible. Look at the glow of the eyes in the guitar. And this is very Slaanesh. Look at the speakers done in the shoulder pads. The reflections on the guitar itself. The highlights on every string. Their recipe for pink, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. And then like some tortured soul built into the backpack itself. That is so crazy. So crazy. So guys, there we go. We had some really amazing pieces for Art of the Week. Let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, I guess we should go back and actually do some painting now. What you guys think? I need to crack on with these white scars. I mean, it's either that or after all that amazing artwork, burn my brushes. Alright guys, so I think that's going to be my... I think as a group we decided that the heat bloom effect on the exhaust pipes is going to be the way to go. So that's going to be my project for the morning. I'm not going to bore you guys doing all that masking and stuff while we're looking at it now. I'm now having a barbecue in my shed. A barbecue of all the paintbrushes. Painted an entire chapter of them years ago for a friend and swore I'd never do them again until I saw the theme of characters in Indomitus. Oh, you know, that makes sense. The new Blade Guard veterans and the captain in that style definitely seem very, very Minotaurish. The new Judiciar definitely seems to fit that kind of aesthetic. I think it's a good idea. Alright, so what else do we have right now, guys? Next we have up for me to do is going to be some purity seals and these screens here. I'm going to do the screens first. So we're going to put some silver down. I'm using Vallejo silver. Nice, bright chrome kind of silver. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that down on my monitors, and then I'm going to come in with some of the gem, the Eldar gem effect, the Soulstone green or whatever it's called, and do that as a layer on top. By the way, guys, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, I'm just hanging out with you guys while I paint. This is by no means a tutorial, so this is definitely not a do as I do kind of bit, because I know my technique is far, far, far from being, you know, the best. This is just to hang out with me while I lay down some paint. By no means a tutorial. Waystone Green is the name of the brush licking engage. Yep, definitely doing some brush licking. But I'm not watching the show in the shed, it's too late for that. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, you might have a few questions in the house if you were in the shed this time of morning. Why were you out in the shed at 4 in the morning? Watching Frost and Fist, burning my brushes. How do you shade your white? Oh, I did say I'd talk about that in a little bit. So, for my recipe for white is I start with Gray Seer Rattle Can. Right now I only do the Gray Seer Rattle Can instead of Airbrush Prime. Is just for consistency because all my other white scars are Gray Seer Rattle Can and I don't want to change. That's my base coat. I'm going to switch to a larger brush. So I start with the Gray Seer Rattle Can. Then I come in with Space Wolves Contrast Gray with my airbrush and add in the shade where I want it. And one of the main tutorials I follow on where to put my shade is actually Elstonation's tutorial for a Space Wolves Rhino he did way back a couple years ago now, and that has just been an inspiration on all of my airbrush shading. And yep, I do my shading with the airbrush Space Wolves Gray. And then after I do that, I come in with some white scar thinned down by a little white artist ink and add in my highlights. So it's a combination of those 3 layers. Well, and actually, before I even do those highlights, I come in and soften kind of the edges, blend the edges of the Space Wolves gray a little bit with a little more gray sear. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Gray sear, Space Wolves gray to darken down, and white scar to brighten back up. Alright guys, not the most pro, but check it out. Going over here, and that was just some bright Vallejo silver and 2 thin layers of Waystone green over top of the bright silver, and it's got kind of a little shiny green computer screen kind of effect. So that's how I do my screens. Unfortunately, because of the silver, it's really reflective and isn't really registering that well on camera, but alright, so I got my buttons down for that, and actually, yep, and that's all of the buttons. So next we're going to do some purity seals. Well, I've done the purity seals, but we just need to do the paper form. And for that, I'm just putting down some Terminus stone. Getting some commander hair off the tip of my brush. Looks great, brother. Thank you so much. Heard and seen that white ink is pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and it's definitely been a help. It can be, and it's probably just my skill with an airbrush, but the white ink can be a little too runny. That's why I mix it with the white scar, but it definitely helps. I'm not watching the show in the shed, and I'm testing my new airsoft gun. What are you testing your airsoft gun for? Oh, if I was in the shed at 4 a.m. The Emperor is pleased. Thank you, Bofnet, my man. Thank you so much. Alright, so going in with some Terminus stone here. We're just adding a light green color to this paper. And I know that that light green color is going to be too clean for this paper, but we'll age it up here just a little bit. Now I'm just getting a nice creamy beige color to start with. So a couple weeks ago I told you guys how I ordered some Broken Toad flat edge brushes to help me with my orcs and their checkerboard, right? And actually I have loved doing my checkerboard with them so much that I put in an order for some Broken Toad regular brushes today, some of their spearheads. So I am going to be really stoked to make my Broken Toad Mark III my new workhorse, where I usually use a lot of my, say, Army Painter stuff. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love working with Army Painter brushes. They've been a great workhorse, especially when I can't immediately do my brush care and stuff like that, like on stream and whatnot. However, I'm ready to level up a little bit and incorporate some of what I've loved using the Broken Toad brushes with the flat edges into my everyday work. I was thinking of getting some of that to base the glow for Necrons. Very nice. You know that new Necron glow technical paint? I've seen some people use that and it looks really, really nice. I'm thinking it may not be the right plasma color for these white scars, but when I do my ultramarines, definitely could be a good plasma glow color for them. I think my Space Wolves glow color is a purple. All my plasma are different colors. Not intentionally, just I'm just doing whatever color I think goes well with the army I'm painting at the time. So far, like my las cannon glow and my plasma glow on this army so far has been kind of a turquoise color. With my Space Wolves, it's been kind of a purpley color. And I think with my Ultramarines, that new Necron Technical Glow paint will be the perfect one. The glow is so bright. It really is. It really is. You'll be able to see, you know, and that's what I love glow effects for, right? So that way you can see that pop of color from far away, from the other side of the table or whatever. But I feel like with that technical paint, you'll be able to see the OSL pop of glow on your model from like several tables over, on the other side of the store while you're buying chips and your opponent's taking their turn. You'll be able to see the glow on your models. So I think it's going to be good stuff. Alright, and I've got a couple of things I can do right now, guys. I could lay down some known oil on my metallics, which I don't think I want to do on stream because any stray drop on that's going to stress out my white paint job. I could do some of the red freehand on the legs, the little triangles. I say freehand, it's basic geometric shapes, but I could lay down some of my triangles on the legs. Oh, but that white looks so crisp, I'm not sure I want to mess that up. Maybe we won't do it on all of them. But the other big task I have coming up is really a whole bunch of panel lining on these white scars. That's what scares me. Lots of panel lining. Alright, now that I got my cream color down, put some skeleton horde down. Skeleton horde and some contrast thinner. And we're going to try not to knock over the super glue. Mission accomplished, I guess. Just the goggle eyes in my Judiciaire are bright. Can't wait to put on some other things. Oh, is that what you used on the eyes of your Judiciaire? The Necron glow? That is way more thinner than Skeleton Horde. Crap, just smacked my microphone. I apologize if that was a loud sound in anyone's ear. Alright guys, so talking a little bit about painting white, I mentioned that anything else that touches my white paint job can be a painting pitfall for me. What are some of your guys' painting pitfalls? What stresses you guys out when you guys are hobbying? Because for me, any little drop, any little misstroke bugs the hell out of me when I'm painting white. And it's something that almost paralyzes me, you know, with indecision when it comes to time to do stuff like this, because I'm afraid of messing up my smooth, buttery blends. You know, I joke about that, but like I've been like sitting here hardcore raging, and then Lily has heard from the other room, "My smooth buttery blends."
Try so hard not to laugh.
I appreciate that. Because while I think that's funny after the fact, in the moment, I probably would not be amused with you.
I, on the other hand, am very amused.
I know you are. I know you are. So yeah, what painting pitfalls do you guys see? That problem I have with painting around white. The static is gone. Me smacking the microphone accidentally fixed the static on my microphone. That's hilarious. Yeah, I was going for the psychotic Jawa look. Well, sir, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Bofnet, would you like me to share that psychotic Jawa Judiciary? Would you like people to see what's going on with that? I think it's a really cool model. Of course, I won't share it if you don't want me to, but I think it would be cool. I think we all like this psychotic Jawa. Except, you know, the way he totes that big two-handed Judiciary sword. Not many people are going to call him a psychotic Jawa to his face. Eyes. Always the eyes. You right. You right. So many people, the eyes. Yeah, you guys know what I love seeing the eyes on? It's like an 8-year-old video, but I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's the Thin Your Paints video. And anytime I'm raging about something I've done badly in a paint job, and I'm like, man, I suck at this, why am I doing that? Freak will send me the Thin Your Paints video just as a reminder that I'm not as bad as I think I am. And now those are some eyes. That can be some pitfalls for sure. Those are some eyes indeed. I would call him the tower, but I tower over him by 6 feet. I'm saying I don't think many people. I mean, yeah, you could probably hang, but I'm saying most people aren't going to call that Judiciary psychotic Jawa to his face. Alright guys, I think it's about time for some non-stop panel lining. But I think if I do the panel lines, I'm almost ready to finally wrap these guys up. It's just going to take 3 years of panel lines. And we still got 45 minutes left on stream, so, you know. I do, my hands are crap. That explains your driving on Forza. Oh, man. If I were anything halfway decent at racing games, I would have to maybe join you guys on Forza someday. But ever since I was Chibi Methos, young Methos was never good at racing games, and it's only gotten worse since. That's the beer. You guys know I never talked about a hobby update today. I'm sure you guys can see the bikes are the biggest hobby update, but I had a couple small things. So, you guys probably saw about 2 weeks ago where I prepped a Orc Commando on stream. I think he's looking good. And he was a freebie I got in a bag of freebies from Spellcrow. And I liked the look of him so much, I ordered another 9 to have a full squad of 10 commandos. And I think that's just going to be really cool. And that actually came in a nice big Spellcrow box this week. So, big box Spellcrow commandos right here. And of course, once again, These guys never, ever, ever skimp on the freebies. Although I have no idea where I put the freebies. Ah, here we go. Look at that massive bag of freebies. And I went through it, and there's like another Orc Commando in there. There's a bunch of Orc bits, like 6 different heads, 2 power claws, 2 different kinds of shotguns in there, 1 Cadian, and 1 Death Guard guy. Oh, and a freebooter's sword. So these guys never, ever, ever skimp on the freebies. Spellcrow always has fantastic customer service. Methos, you would have to skip lunch to play with us. I'll play on my lunch break while during a work day. That would be cool. I might have to do that someday. This is the other thing I got in for my hobby this week. I got in a whole bunch, like I think it's 30 dropper bottles, because some of the GW pots started getting on my nerves, and they're just difficult to airbrush with. And the more I airbrush, the more I've been switching my paints over to dropper bottles, and so I got some nice big dropper bottles to be able to do that with. I wanted to get the extra large dropper bottles so that way they would be able to fit like the big contrast pots. So, morning Elstonation. So we have had Elstonation and Spud both on this chat tonight. That's awesome. Good morning, my man. Had a great live show yesterday. Elstonation priming up his Necron army. That was cool. You can check him out on the Chilling Wargamers. And he had a great Friday video on how to convert your existing Necrons to fit the aesthetic of the new Necrons from Indomitus. So you can go check out those videos. Speaking of shoutouts, he is probably past it, but I want to check on that because if it makes the difference, you know, so much the better. My man Pickle Jar was so close to 400 subs. Forgive me grabbing all my junk out of the way. The Pickle Jar. Ooh, 5 away still. I was expecting he would have hit that by now. Alright guys, let's take a look at this. Guys, check out the Pickle Jar. My brother, Josh over at the Pickle Jar, is only 5 short subs away from 400 subscribers. Fantastic content. Take a look here. Man does streams every Wednesday on the Pickle Jar. Fantastic show. Building Indomitus was last week. Week before was painting salamanders. He does some great tutorials. Usually it's a tutorial or chat video every Saturday. So you can see, and let's just take a look at some of those. I want you guys to see, this is actually really good content. So look, tarnished bronze armor, Necron Gauss rods. You can learn how to get that nice bright glow, and this is without the new technical paints. So possibly with paints you already still have, you can check out, see how he achieves that nice bright glow. Let's check out some other tutorials. Damaged orc armor. I mean, and that, while he may be working on an orc armor, if you just want to paint anything with just battered and beat to hell armor, you can check that out. It's a great tutorial. Look at that handsome lad right there. Check out that face. Salamander Terminators again. Orc War Boss, right? He does some Let's Paint videos. Other tutorials include things like his yellow cloak. And I want to go a little further back because I want to show you the things that got me hooked on the channel. Dirty fur. Here we go. Blood effects. These are some of the tutorials that got me started right away. Rusted weapons. Orc teeth. Flowing magma bases. Picking a new hobby project. Bright orc skin. This was one of the inspirations for my orc skin. 5 tips for beginning hobbyists. Heat damage. Molten sword effects. I want to show you guys. So he does everything with a handheld paintbrush. But watching the idea of his tutorial, I wanted to try replicating that same thing with an airbrush. I don't know why I decided to do it with an airbrush and make it harder on myself, but I was inspired by his tutorial when I put together the paint job on my fire sword for my brother Kane's Salamander Captain. So that was directly inspired. Oh, I'm going to mess up the focus. There we go. That was directly inspired by a tutorial from the pickle jar. I need to do a showcase on these salamanders, guys. I'm really proud of these salamanders. But check that out. That is quality content I picked up from the pickle jar. So, yeah, check that out. And this is what the captain looks like in full. Really proud of how he came out. Alright, I'm going to go back to the pickle jar real quick. So, guys, 5 short subs away. So, if you guys aren't subbed to him yet, please help a brother out. Hook a brother up. Let's get him those last 5 subs. That would be amazing. New videos every Saturday. Live streams every Wednesday. Fantastic personality, too. You know, I still haven't seen this video. Check that out. That Salamander Funko Pop. I need to go check that out. Look at the weathering on that. Look at the eye lenses. Any closer? Let's hit the refresh. Any closer? 96, just 4 subs away. 4 subs. I know we can do it. Alright. Yeah, I would, if you guys would drop my brother's sub, I would take that. Drop my brother's sub. I would take that as a personal favor, guys. Just such a great channel and great content. Alright, and we are back to the White Scars. I think I've decided I am not ready to devote a whole bunch of time to non-stop panel lining. So, I think first I'm going to read the comments. Wolfwraith, my brother. Good to see you, my friend. Actually, I just took a little look at Twitch earlier, and I sent people your way and over to the Goldfish of Justice's Twitch channel. So, dropper bottles are the gospel, homie. Absolutely, especially if you guys know anyone with a 3D printer, get someone to print you out one of these little funnels, because what they do is they've got an inside lip or inside core and then a lip around, and it mounts and sits directly on top of your bottle, so that way you can pour stuff in from the dropper bottle and, you know, not waste any of that goodness. It doesn't spill. It goes right in. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Highly, highly recommend. When Freak had a PLA printer, he hooked me up with that. Wybird says, pipettes all the way. See, with pipettes, I feel like I'm constantly wasting small increments of paint. With dropper, when I switch dropper bottles, I feel like I just lose a little bit during the transfer, and that's it. Mike Hawkins, you are right, my brother. Pickle Jar is a badass. Why, when you can pick up a box of tiny funnels for like $2 USD? Oh, as opposed to pipettes? Yeah, I would rather do the funnel system. Alright, guys. I think I'm not ready to commit to nonstop panel lining. I got to be in the right zone for that. So, instead, what I think I want to do is sketch out some basic geometric shapes. Grumpy Guy Gaming. Now, there's another gentleman and a scholar. Actually, what I'm about to do right now was based on watching a tutorial on Grumpy Guy Gaming. And you guys are probably going to ask me, you needed a tutorial to teach you how to draw triangles? And I'm going to say yes. I was honestly terrified of the idea of freehand, even for something as simple as these triangles. And I said, somebody help. H-A-L-P, help. I said, I have no gift at freehanding, and I want to be able to do these tribal designs on white scars. And Grumpy Guy Gaming said, I got you, fam. And that very next weekend, he had out a tutorial on white scar tribal design. So it was very helpful, especially for someone who had no confidence in freehand. And again, I use the term freehand very loosely. Again, these are just very, very simple triangles. However, I lacked the confidence to do it before, so. I don't know if you guys care about the competitive scene. The first 9th edition GT has been played. Has it? Sisters and Marine Soup 1. Interesting. Custodes and Death Guard are also near the top. I told you guys, Death Guard, we're going to be tough stuff. And we all know Custodes are always tough. Tau and Tyranids got slaughtered. Really? Tau got slaughtered. That I was not expecting. Tyranids I was kind of expecting, because let's face it, I'm going to go ahead and remove this head that's just blue tacked on, because I'm going to bump it and lose it. Let's be honest, a lot of the rules don't favor big hordes. Speaking of hordes, Big D, my man, do you know how Orcs did? Because I have been jokingly asking, and did I pick the wrong time to get into Orcs? Although, you don't get into Orcs for competitive play. But I do know that for a while, the 200 Orc Boys lists were doing pretty well, because they could just secure a whole bunch of objectives. They did penalize soup armies. You get fewer command points by going that way. And you lose out a lot of your doctrine bonuses. But apparently, whatever they did, the mixture of Marines and Sisters must have been worth losing out your doctrine bonuses. I guess the person decided they'd rather have an allied army than have the extra AP from doctrines. Did anyone take Necrons? That's a good question. I'm hoping for a proper Imperial Guard update in Codex, customizable regiments similar to customizable chapter rules. That would be awesome. I thought maybe it was just the um, gosh, what are the more expensive version of Imperial Guard called? The deep striking guys. I know they got some custom rules to build your own regiment. I thought the Guard did too, but I guess I could be wrong. I thought they got that with like Psychic Awakening though. The greater good. All right, Big D is going to do some further research and let us know, guys. We are getting some live news updates from Big D. That's pretty exciting. All right, so again, I am not good at this, so this is definitely not a tutorial. Definitely don't look at this as me bragging or anything. But just to inform you what I'm doing, I start off by sketching my triangles with corn red, because with the darker red, if I make a mistake on these shapes, it's easier to clean up. And then I'm coming in with some Mephiston red and just blocking in those triangles with a little bit brighter of a presence. And then I will go back in with Evil Suns, and I will brighten one side of the triangle. Again, did I need someone to tell me how to draw triangles on my model? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And thank you, Grumpy Guy Gaming, for showing. Elysians. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, can you guys believe they're taking Elysians out of competitive play? That sucks. But I meant the guys with the hotshot las cannon, hotshot las guns, and the Toroxes. Those are ones I saw who got customizable regiments. Lots of Imperial Fist successors, lots of Custodes, loads of Death Guards and Chaos Soups. Nobody played Necrons. You know, I imagine because the new Necrons just got released last weekend, though, I imagine that sometimes when stuff is that new, they don't allow the new stuff. Keep in mind, these lists would have been made a month ago. So, yep, that's what I was just mentioning. Like, it's too soon. Too soon, man. Too soon. Alright, so if he's sitting at this angle, where would the light be? Jeez, it's kind of horizontal. If it's kind of horizontal, I guess I'll brighten towards the back end of the blade. We'll leave it darker towards the tips. I don't know. As the sensei Kenny says, I am not a light scientist. I did just color outside the line. Damn. So a bunch of people playing a 9th edition tournament with lists made a month ago. That's pretty interesting. Probably going to wait until October, November as locally doing Crusade campaign with a few guys. Yeah, let me know how your Necrons turn out, man. Let me know how they do competitively. Or even just in Crusade or whatever. are you using your Necrons for the Crusade? Are you doing your Blood Ravens? Because I know you're pretty big on the Blood Ravens. The magpies of the 40k world. Elves got smacked around too. Flyer spam got killed, and they had to rely on bikes and swooping hawks. Bikes were the king in 7th edition. They got nerfed pretty hard in 8th. Alright. And because I janked up that last layer, I janked up my triangles a little bit. We'll come back in with some black and try and redefine these triangles a little bit. Now this doesn't work so well on, of course, my lovely white paint schemes. But man, this is something I wish that somebody had told me way earlier in painting, is that, you know, if you paint outside the lines, you can just go clean up with the opposite color. Really wish somebody had said that to me, because I had spent so much time just upset for no reason, because I thought I had just messed up my my paint jobs. I think I'll do old school chainswords on mine. You know, I just started in 7th edition. You're going to have to catch me up on old school chainswords. What you mean? Like I've been saying in my streams, I'm confident enough. I'm going to start dipping my toe into competitive scene locally. We have a lively one. Yeah, I mean, the last tournament I went to, I was literally just blown away by 2 towel lists, and then at the time it was a war convocation, and I just absolutely lost my appetite for competitive play. It was just like, wow, I can't hang with these guys. I spent longer setting up my models than it took me to play. So I have to say I feel like I found my calling. I'm definitely more of a beer and pretzel kind of player than competitive player. Except, you know, pancreatitis. I can't have beer anymore. Hazard stripes. Very nice. Very, very nice hazard stripes. This is a very iconic look. And honestly, you know, my triangles aren't very well defined. So, I mean, hazard stripes, I'm sure, will be much more recognizable. Of course, it's the person doing it, so. The improvements to Death Guard have been amazing. I'm testing my competitive list on Sunday. Yeah. Your Death Guard are amazing. Now I have to watch another wolf player sit their wolves on the sideline, because everything else is stronger than the wolves. I got you. I don't think most Space Wolf players even know the phrase competitive game. We never get to be seen on the top shelf. Although I do, is it sad that I do want to go to play in a tournament one day? Not because I want to do well. I mean, of course it would be fun to win, but I definitely don't expect I would do well just because I suck. But I want to play my AdMech at an event one time, just because I feel like my AdMech are my best painted army. And, you know, if I can't play to win, maybe I can play for best painted. I still base all models for game and gameplay with flock and keep the paint quick and simple. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. I spend ridiculously long amounts of time on my models, and take forever to get them painted up. So my paint count is not very high, but I like the way they look when I get to the tabletop. So had a lot of work this week, so wasn't able to finish the Space Wolf tutorial. Awesome. I'm really excited about seeing that coming, though. Great stream, Methos. Your models look incredible as always. Catch you later. Thank you so much, Brother Steve. Modeling for Advantage says, looking good, Squire. Thank you very much, sir. Now, it's funny because I didn't want to take on the daunting task of starting 1,000,000 panel lines during the stream. So I decided I was just going to freehand some triangles on my chain swords, because that's one of the steps I still have yet to do. And then it just kind of occurred to me when I was reading the chat right now, when did freehanding, again, they're just triangles, but still, it feels like a level up. When did freehanding something become the easier task for me to do? Something Grumpy said in his tutorial that made me feel like these triangles were way more achievable is that it is hard to get the shape of the triangle wrong if I'm just pulling my brush back all the time. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. I mean, I should be able to pull my brush back in a straight line, right? Theoretically. I did see your new Wolf Lord. And no, I didn't say that you were sidelining your wolves for good. No, I just meant like as far as competitive play, powerless. It wasn't about you, man. It was just a statement about Space Wolves in general not making it to the competitive scene. Man, those last couple triangles at the end really got kind of muddled. Going to hit the hay, dude, as it's 5 a.m. or no, FA Cup. It looks like some kind of soccer cup day. So I have to start drinking at lunchtime. Man, you have a great day and enjoy your FA Cup. I think it's something soccer. Not soccer, football. Take care, brother. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Yes, we absolutely, can appreciate getting busy with work. That is why content has slowed down here on the Frost and Fist as well. Work for myself and Freak has just been absolutely crazy, and so neither of us have been able to crank out the content we intended. And I have so many half-edited videos in queue right now. In fact, sometime tomorrow, our I Am a Wargamer challenge video should be out. And we recorded it early this week. But I just haven't had a chance to finish editing it. And of course, it's a long video, guys. Your Wolf Brother and the Freak ran our mouths way too long. But, kind of the point of the video is to stroll down memory lane. So we absolutely did. Maybe a little too much. Archer slowly but surely building a Daredeo dread while watching and listening. Very nice. Daredeo dreads are pretty awesome. And is one of the quick and easy ways to give yourself, was it a invul save or a feel no pain to your gun line? So that's cool stuff. Can you move a Deredeo and shoot at the same time? Would that be worth marching up with my other dreads to help make it keep that invul save? That seems like it would be cool. All right. Yes, it's a soccer game. All right. Grey Knights came in third. Nasty list. Grey Knights, third place. Man, that is going to be good news for Brother Garrett. Maybe I can finally talk Brother Garrett to picking his Grey Knights army back up. Third place in a GT. That's some solid power. So what made the list so nasty, my brother? Are you doing triangles on both sides of the chainsword? Eventually. Figured I'd do these sides, get them both where I want them, and then flip them over. Unfortunately, I'm sure no one will see the bottom of these chainswords, but it's just something in me. I'll know if I don't paint the other side of the chainsword. However, I am trying to straighten up one of these triangles that just falling out of whack. Are they perfect and straight triangles? Not at all. Not at all. Let's go back to my earlier statement of you need someone to teach you how to paint triangles? Yes. The answer is irresoundably yes. A resoundingly yes. Irresoundingly, that's not a word. So, yeah, I'm interested, Big D, what made the Grey Knights list so nasty? And since I did triangles on these guys' swords, I want to do something special with the pistol, but I don't think triangles are the answer here. Not a lot of surface area. I think I want to do 3 slashes like a Wolverine claw. Why do I want to do it? I don't know. Is there a purpose to what I'm doing? Probably not. Are they going to be properly parallel like Wolverine claws? Nope. Which is not a design choice, by the way. I'm not like boycotting parallel lines. I just know me. There won't be. They won't be parallel just by talent. 3 Grandmasters in the Walker armor. Caldor Drago, Grandmaster Voldus, 6 Termi squads. Oh, did they pay for... I guess they paid for a Vanguard instead of getting a patrol or a battalion? Oh, no, they can take Paladins... Or they can take Terminators as troop choices, right? So I'm guessing the 3 suits and Caldor Drago were enough anti-vehicle for the army then? not knowing anything about Grey Knights myself, I'm just looking at that list and it just seems very low anti-armor. Oh, 2 battalions. Alright, with vehicles being so good addition, is it just the 3 suits as their anti-armor? Is it the Terminators? Paladin bomb is pretty OP. Alright, is the staff or the halberd, how are those against vehicles? Anti-armor in the fight phase, especially the psychic phase. Oh, and especially the psychic phase. Okay. Round 1 smite a knight off the table, but don't they have the baby smites that just do 1 damage? I thought Grey Knights were pretty famous for having the baby smite. They do have the baby smite, but everything can cast it. Very cool. Yeah, I remember before they changed it to the baby smite, that the smite bombs, Grey Knights were really strong at the beginning of 8th edition too. And then they got very suddenly, instantly, and immediately nerfed. With them, I mean, being that they're only in 3rd place, maybe this time they won't get nerfed into the ground. That's kind of a key, I think, right now, is for the beginning of the edition, you want stuff to be strong without being too strong. Because then the nerf bat comes, right? And Voldus buff smite. See, that's something I didn't know. Again, I don't know anything about Grey Knights. Again, they were seen so infrequently in 8th edition that other than how strong they were at the beginning of 8th, I didn't really get to know a lot about them. This is going to be an awkward angle. Instead of doctrines, they get some other things, and one of them buffs their psychic abilities. And the walkers all have demon hammers. All right, so do you guys anticipate changing any of your games or your lists with what you've seen of the points changes or anything in 9th edition, maybe some of the rules? You guys think you'll take some units you weren't taking before? They seem like they've done a good job trying to change things up so you would take things that maybe you wouldn't have taken before, and they seem like they're trying to really penalize anything that was considered an auto include before. So you guys think you're going to change up the way you guys play right now? Is there anything you're curious about trying maybe you didn't want to try before? No, you're not boring me. Actually, I'm very, even though I'm not a competitive player, I always enjoy hearing about what's going on in the competitive scene. Mostly because I know whatever changes come in the edition always are based off of what's going on in the competitive scene. It's that thing I talk about with like competitive online games is that most changes and decisions are made based on how the top 10% of the world perform, right? Usually they don't make nerfs and bans on what the average Joe is doing. It's all about tournament play. Man, these upside down ones I'm trying to do are not coming out as cleanly. That's okay. Hopefully I can just go back in with the black afterwards and just neaten up. Yeah, Leviathans are hard to take nowadays. They are as expensive, just about as expensive as a knight nowadays. It's hard to justify Leviathan. Richard Smith! Oh my goodness. Good to see you, my friend. You are up early, my friend. You are up early indeed. Yeah, I'm just having a basically a chill night trying to get some work done on these white scars. I would love to have them finished up tomorrow, so that way I could say my white scar bikers were done a week from release day. I don't know if I'll have enough progress to have them done by tomorrow, but I would love to be able to say that. So I thought, you know what, why not dedicate tonight to just a simple, chill paint sesh. Yeah, it is ridiculous that a dreadnought that doesn't get all the benefits of being a giant knight is almost as expensive as the Imperial Knight. It's hard to justify. I mean, at its points cost before, I already have a Leviathan that most of the time just sits on my shelf because it's just so expensive to take. I mean, I've taken it a couple of times just because of Rule of Cool, but it's just, you want to fit in a lot, you know, all your favorite toys. And when something is that expensive, it's hard to fit in that many toys, you know? Don't get me wrong. I mean, and I know why they did it. I mean, it got spammed hardcore in 8th edition. Everybody was taking the Leviathan. Everybody was taking the dual storm cannons. They were a competitive staple. I can see why. Although, I'm glad they didn't go as far as, say, the Chaplain Dreadnought, which, you know, got completely axed from competitive play. And that really did become an auto include. You know, everybody was taking both the. If they weren't taking the Leviathan, they were taking the Chaplain Dreadnought in the competitive scene. The average Joe is having trouble making a list altogether. I think beginning of the edition, most average Joes are just having trouble figuring out how to take all the goodies that they want to take, right? Especially if you're not a tournament player, you're not used to list optimization, then it can be hard figuring out. What's the matter, baby? You okay? You hear the thunder again? But yeah, if you're not used to looking for those efficiencies, then, they say the average ninth edition list is dropping about one full squad of something, right? And so trying to figure out what it is you want to cut from your list, it could be real tough. Trying to make. Plus, just list building in general is different now, right? You can't just take the supreme commands, which really limits your options on which HQs you're going to take. It used to just be, I'm going to take a captain and I'm going to take a lieutenant, and I'm going to take two captains. One's going to be a smash cannon, and one's going to babysit my gun line and give the reroll buffs. And that one I'll make chapter master, and now you can only take one captain and two lieutenants per detachment, right? So again, that kind of really is a big change to the way we're used to building our lists. My question about this upcoming rule where they're going to limit how many captains you can take, is that all captains? Do named captains count? Can I take one captain and a Ragnar? That would be cool. If named captains don't count towards it, and you can still take a good amount of those, that could be a further incentive to why you would take these named characters. Ragnar is amazing anyways. But, it's just an example. If it has the captain keyword, does it count, right? Can I take a captain and a con? It'll be interesting to see how all this works. Looking sick, Methos. Thank you so much. Back to bed. Good night. Rest well, my friend. My Death Guard list is 50% easy to build Death and Dark Imperium figures. Most of my intercessors and hellblasters are easy to build. Yeah, I need to get some more intercessors. One captain per detachment per the rules. Smash captain spam is out, unfortunately. I never had a bunch of them, but I always like including at least one. But having another one to babysit my repulsor would be good. The more I look at it, I think I don't like the red slashes on the pistol, so I might go back and just black bomb that again. But hey, that's why we experiment, right? Alright, triangles on one side, triangles on the other. They're not the best triangles, but they'll do okay. I think I need to clean up that tip a little more. And again, this is why I like to remind everyone that what I do is not in any way, shape, or form a tutorial. It's just me hobbying with you guys. Although that looks way crisper than it did a second ago, so that helped, I guess. Alright, before I start on this last sword, I want to check over on my pickle jar bro and see if we netted him any more subs. Anymore. 97, so close, just 3 away. 3 small subs. 3 small subs. Alright, we'll check one more time when we come back. And it is 11, guys, but I want to finish up this last set of triangles, so I will be just a couple more minutes. Hope you guys don't mind too much. Do want to check something real quick. Da da dee da da da. Alright, I'm going to start on this last one. Check my comments real quick. Yep, Smash Captain Spam is out. I know, baby, I hear the thunder. It's okay, Pupper. It's okay, Pupper. Did anyone play the Smash Captain Spam? Is the one captain per detachment going to affect anyone here? I'm interested to see if it'll affect the named characters, because I may not take, a ton of just Smash Captains, but, I do have a list with a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf and a Wolf Lord in Terminator armor. I do have a list with my Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf and a Herald Deathwolf. Yes, it's one of the reasons I'm not dropping right in with my wolves. Yeah, I'm really interested if that'll affect cons, because I would love to still be able to take my con on bike and then take a captain for my backline. That would be cool. But the way it's looking, actually, I was kind of counting it up. And because I need those extra fast attack slots, I will probably be running two detachments anyway. So I think I'm safe with my 2 captains. And actually, even my orcs. The bros and I here locally in town are planning on a game day in August, making a day of it, like a barbecue and 40K kind of deal. And in fact, I think that's what we called the chat group, barbecue and 40K. And August 19th, I want to say. And if I paint up everything that I have as current projects, including some of the stuff I have unbuilt for my orcs, I can get my orcs right to 1750, which is the point level they want to play. But to do that, I think I have too many elite slots. So I'd have to play a patrol and a vanguard. And I think I have too many HQ slots. So, a patrol and a vanguard. So, it looks like, so both my white scars and my orcs, I'm already looking at running two detachments. I'm going to have fewer command points that way, but it's playing with the models I want to play with, right? Instead of... Have a good night, Wybird. Good to see you, brother. I'm almost done anyways, man. As soon as I finish up these triangles, we'll call it a night. Hopefully, though, by the end of the stream, we can get those last 2 subs for our Pickle Bro. Yeah, both of the lists I want to run are my white scar that I've looked at so far. I haven't looked at my Space Wolf list yet and see what changes 9th edition has done to my Space Wolf list, but the lists I want to run with my orcs and my white scars so far, both of them are looking at double detachments. Vanguard and Patrol for my orcs, and Vanguard and Outrider for my white scars. Now this one's not as nearly an awkward position, so the triangles on the bottom side of this particular sword are coming out way better than the other one. When the new codex drops, 1 Captain Khan, Master Wolflord, and 2 Lieutenants, Battle Leaders, max per detachment. Did they clarify that? Because I don't remember seeing anything with the Khan on it. The article I saw was just captains. I mean, it would make sense if they did clarify Khan. I was just interested. Could be a faction-specific buff. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me anyways because I plan on running 2 detachments anyways. And it might give me a reason to actually run a lieutenant once in a while. Because often when I go to take a lieutenant, unless it's for a gun line where I'm trying to maximize my rerolls, but as far as sending them out into the field to fight, I'm usually wondering, like, why would I take a lieutenant when I can just get a little more fighting power for another 10 points or so? So, I've taken a lieutenant in one of my lists before, and it was one that I made hero of the chapter with the Teeth of Terra and a jump pack, and that seemed to work reasonably well. Alright, we got the triangles on our dudes. How many points of scars are you up to now? Atlas played against me when I was just starting my white scars, and I couldn't field a full army of white scars, and I had to mix them with my Space Wolves to get a full Space Marine army. But now I definitely have more than a 2K list. I haven't looked up at my totals, and especially now that our points have all gone up by about 15 to 20 points across the game, I would say I probably have at least 2,200. Maybe 25. And with Indomitus here, I'm going to have so much more. So, yeah, I've got quite a bit of white scars now. And also, if it counts how legal you look at Legends. I mean, because I have a bunch of Legends model, like this veteran here on bike. But since we just play friendly beer and beer and pretzel games, usually, we most of us seem to be okay with the retired Legends models, but you tell me if you're comfortable playing against it. But yeah, I seem to have a pretty decent sized white scars army now. In fact, I think because I spent so much time painting this white scars army, and white is stressful to paint with, I think that's why I've just really taken to orcs so well. Something I can just relax and paint. Get. Does Khan have the captain keyword? Yes. It's about the keyword. That's why I was just asking. I didn't know if it was specifically called out. Alright guys, so this is where we're at for the night, guys, with the white scars. Got all our metallics done, We got the control panels done. We got the purity symbols, purity seals done tonight, and of course, yeah, I don't remember where else I was going with that. And if I did mention the chain swords, we got the chain swords done. So, pretty pleased with tonight's progress. How would that fit? Or would that be spearhead detachments? Spearhead, I believe, is 3 heavy supports. I don't know if I have any heavy supports currently for my white scars. Oh, also, I don't know if you would be okay with me playing my deodorant land speeder conversion, but I really like that thing. I don't want to play it at some point. I really love the way that came out. That was a challenge put out by the Gamecraft Dragon land speeder, or the deodorant stick grav tank challenge. And I made my own land speeder, or not land speeder, but a deodorant vehicle. I modeled it after one of the flyers, the Storm Talon, or Stormhawk. Stormhawk, I want to say. No, Storm Talon. Fast attack is an Outrider. I do have enough for an Outrider. Alright guys, so we are done with tonight's painting, and like I said, I'm going to be at this tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be an all-day panel lining session, trying to finish these up and get these out onto YouTube. So panel lining and decals tomorrow. So hopefully you guys will see a little something from me. And I'm going to go back to Pickle Jar's page real quick. And let's check to see if we got him those final couple subs. Oh, $3.99. $3.99. Can somebody be that one last sub to get him over the hump to 400? That would be amazing. The drama. $3.99. I hope that we can make that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome indeed. Hooking a brother up. Alright, you guys probably hear a little jankiness. It's me moving the camera around. Ugh. So hopefully I can close this out correctly. Let's see if I break anything. Let's go to solo video. Haha! There we go. There we go. That's not too bad, guys. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this paint and chat adventure. Me trying to crank out these white scars. Hopefully I have them done tomorrow. And I will, you guys have helped me, hopefully, reach my goal of white scar bikes in 1 week of Indomitus. So I really appreciate you guys joining me for tonight. Checking in. Pickle Jar. Refresh Methos. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. GW News. Refresh. Let's refresh. There we go. 401. The Pickle Jar. Yes. 401 here on the stream. Thank you so much, fam. I always say I have the best community here. Freak and I are lucky to have you guys as part of our hobby community. I'm so glad we got Pickle Jar to 400 subs. Congrats, Pickle Jar, my brother. Pickle Jar has a video coming out today, every Saturday morning, so we'll be able to have some good new content for Pickle Jar viewers. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. And I want to thank everyone who joined me tonight, helping me get all this stuff done. I think having you guys to help motivate me for a paint and chat definitely was super, super helpful. Nope, solo video. There we go. It was super helpful, guys. I think having you guys to talk to made some of the tedious parts of doing the buttons, the triangles, really made the tedious parts of the painting session much, much more pleasurable to do. So I really appreciate that. Tomorrow, like I said, it's all panel lining, but we're doing a hangout with some patrons in the morning and hanging out with some friends online, with some video chat to get through some of that panel lining too. So that's going to be awesome. Big thank you to our patrons who we're going to see some of them in the patron chat tomorrow. I am going to thank my patrons now and I get a little excited about this. So if you guys have me in the earphones or whatever, I do get a little excited, and I apologize. But I want to take a chance to thank all of them. Thank you, Bloodclaw, Heinrich Batha. Thank you, Bloodclaw, Running Bear. Bloodclaw, Richard at the Nerd Life. Bloodclaw, Big Mech Danskull. Bloodclaw, Brian, the Mini Warmutt. Bloodclaw, Big D at the Gamecraft Dragon. Bloodclaw, Inquisitor Zane. Bloodclaw, Zack the Crimson Painter. Grey Hunter, Brother Roxas. Grey Hunter, Kaiju Shorts. Wolfguard, Kalo. Wolfguard, Commodore. Thank you, you ultimate Wolf Lord, Anonymous. Defender of Fenris, the ultimate Wolf Lord, Meeks. And of course, wielder of the Banhammer, our very own Smash Captain, ultimate Wolf Lord Archer. Thank you guys so much for helping us do what we do. Really appreciate your guys' support as always. And again, really appreciate the support of everyone who joined us here tonight. You guys are fantastic. If you guys enjoyed tonight's Paint and Chat episode, just chilling, chatting, and painting, please make sure that you grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop us some comments down below if you're watching from the archives, and feel free to be part of any of these ridiculous conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then even though he's off working tonight, I'm sure Freakalicious and this guy would love to have you as part of the pack, part of the hobby community, part of this hobby family here on the Frost and Fist. Until next time, guys, stay frosty.